Warning. What's the Deal is a subset of The No Filter Show. The No Filter Show is a whimsical, sometimes semi-serious comedy exploring the essence of Southern Utah's Dixie. Statements and content are intended for fun and sometimes tongue-in-cheek. This show neither is a representation of positions or opinions of St. George News. The show does not purport to offer a straight news report no matter how much you think it does Gary and Sally. What's the Deal offers an insight and platform for individuals to express their opinions and ideas.
Hey, what's the deal?
The deal is the Religious Freedom Restoration Act.
RFRA.
So our own senator out of Southern Utah, Steve Urquhart,
Yes.
he sponsored Senate Bill 296.
Right.
And this talks about the discrimination amendments.
LGBT.
So with no further ado, let's bring in Senator Urquhart. Senator Urquhart, thanks for being with us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to be here.
Good. You've been busy.
Yeah, very busy. Just concluded our 45-day session, and I think it was pretty good.
How many years have you been doing this?
This was my 15th year.
15th
Wow.
year
Yeah.
That's incredible.
as a state senator.
What is RFRA? What's going on? What's going on in Kentucky? What's going on in Indiana? Tell us. Give us the scoop.
Yeah, you have a lot of states melting down over LGBT issues.
Right, right.
So what's going on in Indiana? The governor signed a bill, Religious Freedom Restoration Act.
Right.
In Arkansas, the governor said he would sign it, but he stepped back. They're getting a lot of pressure from corporations saying that they've gone too far, and that the intent and effect of that legislation would be to authorize discrimination against gay individuals.
So let's say you're a landlord and that you have a tenant that is gay or bisexual. You could actually evict them from your property because of this act.
Yeah, that is the way I read the legislation in those two states, is if you have an issue with someone being gay, then you
Right.
can just say, you know what, that's against my religion, I'm not going to serve you, I'm going to evict you, I'm going to fire you.
Which is discrimination.
Yeah, it is.
Former Representative Carl Wimmer, you familiar with him?
Sure.
So this week in his blog, he stated, I'll paraphrase, he basically said that the church, the LDS church, winds up the legislators and basically tells them how to vote. Can you weigh in on this? This might be a sticky area, but right out of the gate, can we talk about that?
Yeah, there's some sensitivities in this question. The main one being, if I get it wrong, Carl Wimmer could bench press all three of us combined. So I need to get this right.
Carl Weathers?
So, yeah, I read,
Carl.
I read Carl's piece, and that's not the case on the bill that I passed.
Okay.
Now, the Mormon Church was very active on this piece of legislation, and I've been working for the past couple years to get the Mormon Church to speak up, because in 2009, while it was feeling the blowback of Prop 8 in California,
Right.
it supported non-discrimination ordinances in Salt Lake City, Salt Lake County, but it's been silent since then. And so in that silence, people have been saying, hey, the Mormon Church opposes equality issues for gays. And I figured that wasn't the case, but that was gaining traction, people speaking for the church. So I've been saying, church, speak up. If you don't speak up, this legislation will fail. And the second day of the session, they held the press conference with elders Christofferson, Oaks, and Holland, and Sister Marriott, and they said that they do support non-discrimination legislation, but they also wanted some religious protections. We're the first, the only solid red state, Republican-controlled state that has forwarded a positive agenda on LGBT issues. And the way we did it, you know, being Utah, where religion's very important,
Yeah.
and where we can have great conversations. I mean, I'm very conservative. I'm great friends with the head of Equality Utah, the head of the ACLU. We just tend to get along here. Now you see Arkansas and Indiana, they're finally bringing LGBT groups to the table to say, oh my gosh, save us from ourselves. Well, they were at the table from the start in Utah. So what we did is something where you can't be evicted or fired for being gay.
Right.
And you can't be evicted or fired for acting like a religious person. I'll give you an example on that one. We had a motorcycle cop in Salt Lake who, on a volunteer basis, on a Saturday, was supposed to perform with a motorcycle performance group at the Gay Pride celebration.
Okay.
So you can easily say, yeah, I'm busy this Saturday, I'm going fishing, whatever.
Right.
He pretty quietly said, I'm going to have this person fill in for me.
Okay.
Then they pressed why. And the why is he said, I don't really want to celebrate gay pride. And so he eventually lost his job over that.
Oh my gosh.
So what we're saying is it's okay to be religious. It's okay to be gay.
Right.
I mean, in Utah, we can accommodate both. So
Go both ways.
you have
he's gonna get his job back?
you have so many people fighting over this issue. Utah, we found a way to put the fight behind us and move forward. I mean, I'm as proud of this as anything I've ever done.
Let me ask you.
We walked the line on a tough issue and we really progressed.
What is this RFRA thing? How does it affect Utah now? I mean, obviously things are going down in Indiana and Arkansas. How is it affecting Utah?
Well, thank you, Indiana. Thank you, Arkansas, for proving the wisdom of Utah and SB 296.
Right.
You look at what's going on there, where they're facing boycotts. They're really looking like backward states. It makes no sense that they would do that 2 weeks after Utah showed the way.
Right.
I mean, we really showed states, if they want to put this controversy behind them, how they can do it. These liberties, there's the false notion that LGBT rights somehow are opposed to religious rights. Religious rights are opposed to LGBT. That's nonsense. You look at all of our rights in America, we balance them.
Is there any rants or raves you want to get out? Is there anything that you can talk about?
Well, yeah, I'll give you a rant on that one.
Give us a rant.
Give us a rant, Steve.
Mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. So last year, what we did, this is a hugely controversial issue. Leadership decided we're not going to hear any quote-unquote gay issues this year.
Okay.
Because, we have a court that's going through, a case that's going through the courts, so we're not going to stir those waters. Well, that's what we do as Americans. We take our most pressing, controversial, divisive issues and we throw them in our legislative bodies and we come up with solutions. So to shut the doors to a controversial issue, you're begging people to take direct action in the streets. So we had 13 individuals last session who they were arrested at the Capitol for blocking the doorway to committee hearings. So their point was, they said, if you're not going to hear our issue, you're not going to hear any issue. So you invite civil unrest when you don't open the doors of legislative process to your controversial issues. Was that a good rant?
That was great.
Did my veins pop out?
Yeah, a little bit. Senator Ricart, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Make sure you leave your questions or comments on our Facebook or Instagram.
And that's the deal.